Hello everyone, this is a how-to tutorial to use our new Blackboard mass notification system that will be used to communicate district-wide, both for parents and students and staff. To navigate to this system, you'll see I have it highlighted here, dvusd.parentlink.net. Again, that's dvusd.parentlink.net. You can go ahead and bookmark that page to get to this page easily, or you can find it on the start page of the portal under Blackboard Communication. To log into the system, you'll want to always use your single sign-on. This button here, single sign-on. I know some of you may see that there's a login and password at the top. Don't use that area. Be sure to use your single sign-on. When you click the single sign-on button, it'll do one of two things. It'll automatically log you in if you're already logged in through the portal, or it will navigate you to the portal and ask you to sign in that way. I'm going to go ahead and click the single sign-on button to show you guys those steps. So again, click single sign-on. This time it did send me to the portal. For the sign-on for our Blackboard communication tool, you're going to use your same information that you use to log into the portal and any other system in Deer Valley where you will have your username and subsequent password. So you'll go ahead and put that. Again, the username is typically a first initial first name, first initial middle name, and your last name, and whatever password that you do use to log into your systems. So you'll go ahead and put that there. Again, first initial first name, first initial middle name, and last name. And then once you log in, you'll see that you're automatically sent to the home screen for the Blackboard communication tool to go ahead and begin using the system. This home screen, you can do a few different things with. We're going to focus today on creating messages and how to do that. To create a message, you can do it one of two ways, or to begin creating your message. You'll see that there's two different options. Messages here at the top, you can click that and it will get you to the same area, or you can click the button, create a message. This create a message button will take you to the page to begin drafting your messages. I'm going to do that for purposes of today. So for purposes of today, again, I'm going to click this create a message button. Once you click that, you'll see it loads to this page. This is your page to begin developing your message. The very first thing you'll want to do when developing your message is going to be type a subject. You'll see right here it says type your subject. You'll always want to have a subject for your messages, and a message won't be able to be sent without a subject. So maybe you have an important message from your school. You'll go ahead and type that message there. Type the subject. So again, I typed it in that subject area. You'll see my subject appears there. The subject will be used for a few different things. So the subject is going to be used for the subject of your emails if you're sending it out that way. The subject is going to be used for the title of your application notification if you're sending it out from the DVUSD app, and also as a title for if you will be placing it on your school or other page website. So make sure that this title is clear and explains what the message is going to be about here. So again, your subject, you just type it in right there and it will subsequently go to those different areas as I've just explained. To then move on to the different ways you can send your message. So you'll see the first option that it loads to is going to be a template. The template is basically just that. You'll be able to create the body of your message, and it will actually share to the variety of other options you have available to you. So here I'm going to go ahead and type in my message in my template. This is the body of my message. And you'll see here there's grayed out options of the different methods that you can send a message through this system. With the system, you can send out a message via phone. That's a voice message, via email, an email message, via text message, a text message sent to the recipient, via application notification or app notification through our DVUSD system. And then also you'll be able to send messages out to your websites, your school websites that you do manage. So again, they're grayed out for the time being. When you select the different options, you'll see the buttons down here illuminate in a color, indicating that that is the method that you're going to go ahead and be sending that message out in. So if you see here, I'll click on the phone option and it turns orange, or it illuminates in the color. There are a few different ways to send out your phone message. The first of which is call me to record. You'll see I put in the number there. That's the number it's going to call, and I'll be able to record my message from that number. You'll see I'll do a call me to record. I'll hit that button, and it's going to try to call that number to allow me to record the message. Another option here is call in to record. Call in to record allows you to call a specific number listed here. When you call that number, you'll be prompted to enter in a code. You'll put that number in your phone there, and when it prompts you, you'll record your message and then press the pound key to finish the recording and 1 to save the message as it says. So it gives you the step-by-steps and prompts through the system to go ahead and record that message. Lastly is text-to-speech. When you record a message that way, the system will automatically record it for you via a robocall voice. So essentially you're creating a robocall based on this information you provide in the bottom section there. So you'll see that it will read exactly the message that you've typed in there at the bottom, and it will record the message and send it out that way. So again, just to review, there are 3 different ways you can send out a voice message or a phone call. You can call me to record. The system will call you with the number you provided, and it will prompt you through the system to record your message. You can call in to record, which means you use your phone to call in to the system, and it'll prompt you through the system to record your message. Or a text-to-speech, which again will be a robocall from a recorded voice with the message content you provided exactly as it is written there to record your message and send it out to your recipients. If you'd like to send out a message via email, you'll click on that, and it will illuminate in blue. When this option is illuminated, that means you will be sending out an email through the system to the recipients that you do choose. There are a few different things you can do here with the email. So if you see, you can add your newsletter. I know many of you have newsletters that you create and some more. If you did select this option and had your newsletter connected to your account, you would be able to copy in the content of your newsletter, and it would appear in this box here in your template. You can preview the message as it will be seen by your recipients with that little eye. And you can also format the message. So let's say you wanted it to look a little bit different, similarly to the use of an email system. You can do a couple different options with your formatting here. So if you see this, if I wanted to bold this option or bold these pieces of my message, I'll just click bold. You can italicize, you can underline. A best practice would probably be to avoid the underlining, as many people see an underline and think it's a link. We don't want any confusion with our users. So best practice, if you're trying to emphasize an area of your message, I would suggest not to underline it and instead to use a different method such as bolding, italicizing, or changing the font color or highlight. You can also change the font type. So if you want a different font in your message, you can go ahead and do that. If you wanted a different size of the font, you can go ahead and change the font size there. If you wanted a specific color for any piece of your message, you'll go ahead and click this text color, and you can change the color of that text there. If you wanted to highlight the text in a different color, make a background color for your text, you'll go ahead and highlight that or use that tool to select a color to highlight. You can also align your text in the message. You see there is a line to the left, a line to the center, and a line to the right. You'll see that the text moves as you select those options. You can also create a bulleted list here at the right or a numbered list at the far right as well. Other things you can do in the email, you can attach images either by clicking on this button that looks like a picture. It's got a little mountain and sun. You click that and insert your image. And you can also create a link. So let's say I wanted to link this to our website. I would go ahead and put the website in there. And then you always best practice want to go ahead and put new window. This will open a new page for you. So target new window. I have my URL there. Press OK. I want to be able to add the required prefix. That's OK. And you'll see it created a link for my message. The next option that you can select is going to be your text message. A few different pieces of information there. You'll see that you only have 140 characters to get the message across via text. If you go over these 140 characters, the message character count will turn red and it won't allow you to send the message. So you'll just have to shorten up your message a bit, make it more brief, possibly send them to an area where they can find more information, whether that's a website or a number to call, etc. The next button over is going to be your application button or your DVUSD app notification. So you can also format this similarly to your email by clicking on the More button and format it the same way that we went ahead and did with the email. You can also insert your s'more there as well. So this is used for sending out notifications via the DVUSD mobile app, and the recipients of your message will get a notification via the DVUSD app. Your final option for sending messages is going to be this globe here at the bottom. This indicates posting to your website. So if you see click here, it'll illuminate in a golden orange color. You'll see that my content copied over. Again, if I did need to adjust it for any reason, I can type in some more information there. And then you'll see here you can choose where you would like that message to be posted. So here, let's say I wanted it posted on the district site. And then you can choose the areas that you would like to go to, for instance, your news sections, your region B sections, your announcements, your headlines and features, whatever the case might be. So maybe for this message, I'd like it to go to my district news. I go ahead and select that and select done. And now you'll see that it's going to my one area that I selected, my district news. If I did not want one of my areas selected, or let's say I don't want it posted on those specific methods anymore, I'll go ahead and navigate to the very top corner, the top right corner there. I will click the X and you'll see now that option is grayed out, meaning that it's not sending via that method. So I'll go ahead and exit out of any methods that I don't want it to send out the message in. And then I will go ahead and continue to create my message. So now that my content is created, we'll go over how to add your recipients to your message. So you see in this area here to your left, recipients. So you want to navigate to recipients, and then to add users to the recipient list to receive the message, you'll click the choose hyperlink there. And then you should see the groups that you have access to. So for this, maybe I want my message to go out to the parents, and I want it to go out to the parents of Anthem School. So I would then click select, and those parents are going to show up on the right-hand side, meaning that that is the group of people that I would like to send my message to. So again, I selected the group of people that I have access to send messages to. I selected the specific group that I would like. I clicked select, and it then moved over to those areas, meaning that I am sending the message to the parents of Anthem School. If I decided I don't want that anymore, or those people anymore, I will just simply click the remove button, and it will remove those recipients from my message. For purposes of today, I will select Anthem School and click done, and that will add that as a recipient of my message. So again, you see now that the recipients appear in a purple bubble under recipients. These are the people that you are going to be sending messages to. If you wanted to get into a specific group of people to send your message, you'll want to select choose again. Instead of from a list, you'll actually click into advanced search. This allows you to get a little bit deeper into your list and send to specific groups or populations of people based on search criterion. So here you see your school and the account. I'm going to go ahead and send them again, maybe to my Anthem population, but this time I want to maybe send them to my parents, but I want to get more specific with it, so I will select some options in the field operations and values. This essentially is an area to drill down and send messages to a very specific group of individuals. A field is basically an identifier for those parents or that group of people that you are selecting. So for purposes of today, maybe I want to send to my 5th grade parents. So you'll see there's a bunch of different options that you can select from. You'll just scroll through until you find what you're looking for. So you can do it by birth date, grade level, graduation year, bus ID, gender, if you maybe wanted to send it to all of the boys at the school or all of the girls. You can send it to specific grade levels, so 5th grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade, graduation year, 2021, 22, certain things like that. If you had a specific bus, you would be able to enter that bus ID and send it to those students riding that bus. You can also select different classes, different periods or teachers. And you see there's a whole list of options that you can choose from. So again, find the option that you would like to send your message to. So for purposes of today, I'm going to go ahead and send it to my grade level is equivalent to, and the value here for grade level is actually going to be numerical. So I'm going to put 5 if I want my 5th grade parents. 4, 3, 2, 1, for instance, are going to be the other options. So if you have a 4th grader and you're looking for your 4th grade, what would be 4, 1st grade 1, 9th grade freshman 9, so on and so forth. Kindergarten is going to be at the value of 0, and pre-K is going to be under the value of PK in the system. If I wanted to send to those specific individuals, I would select search, and it does come up with the number of individuals that applies to those search criterion that I entered. It is 108 recipients. I'll go ahead and add those to the list. Select OK, and you'll see that those are added now to my list. If I wanted to remove specific individuals, I would go ahead and click their name, and you'll see that that individual is now removed. So I'm going to go ahead and add those people to my list. I'll click done again, and you'll see now that those individuals populated as recipients for my message as well. The final way that you can find a recipient for your message is going to be by searching right here in this box. Let's say again, I wanted to send them to the Anthem population. You can search that way and see that all parents at Anthem School shows up. Maybe I wanted to look for specific parents, specific bus numbers, parents of my grade level students, whatever the case might be. You can search them for different criteria in there, or if you know specific names, you might be able to search that as well. So again, maybe I want my parents of my 5th graders, and you'll see that they populate there as well. To set up a time and date for your message to go out, you'll see that automatically the system sets it as now, which means when my message is ready and I clicked the send button, that message will automatically get sent out as soon as you click send. However, if you wanted to set up a message to go out at a later time, you would go ahead and click the start time button, and you'll see it'll give you some options to go ahead and change that date and time. You can do so by clicking here, the start time, and you'll see it populates with a calendar to select a new date. So possibly if I wanted to send out my message next week, let's say I wanted to send it out August 2nd, and I can change the date, the time as well. So maybe I wanted to send it at 5:30 instead of right as the time is now. You can click the plus button, and this adds another start time to deliver the message multiple times. So if you want your message to be recurring, you can add those dates and times, and it would send out at those dates and times as well. If you wanted to delete a time for any reason, you'll just press the minus button there, and you'll see that it removes that time slot from my message. Go ahead and click save. And then now you'll see my start time is on August 2nd at 5:30 p.m. instead of going to be sent out right immediately. The next option is your saved options method. Saved message options. So saved messages is essentially messages that you have saved in your system, whether it be drafts or previous messages. Let's say I wanted to go into a message that I've sent out. I'll go ahead and maybe send out this message instead of my message that I was working on. I decided to go into a different message. Go ahead and click that, and you'll see that it populates to the new option with that message and that content with everything I had pre-selected. So this is a great option if you wanted to resend a message that you've already created, or let's say you might have accidentally backed out of the system, accidentally logged out and need to get back in. You haven't lost your message. Instead, they would be in your draft messages or other messages that you've created. If you had categorized them, you'll see there underneath my saved message options. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the message we were working on. The next option, as you scroll down, you'll see languages. Languages is going to be the language that the message will be sent out in. You'll see it automatically defaults to English, but if you did want to add another option, say to send out to the parents or students who selected a different language as their primary language to receive messages, you would simply click that option, and you'll see now the Spanish is added here at the top. And also, the message automatically translates for me to that language in whatever options you've created. So you'll see it's in my phone now, my email, and my text message. If you decided you did not want that language any longer, just simply hover over it, wait for the trash can to appear, click it and remove that language. Your advanced options is going to be the next piece of the system. If you went ahead and clicked on that, you'll see that your advanced options populate. So again, we went over the start time here as well. You can add a different start date and start time, and multiple options if you want your message to be recurring. You can send a message during blackout times. This is to be used very sparingly and only for emergency purposes. You'll see there's a deliver to all recipients address. You do not want to have this option selected. What that will do is send out to recipients for however many times they're entered into the system. So let's say that there's 5 Walshes in the system, and there's 5 students for one Walsh family. Let's say they have 5 kids at the same school. They'd be getting that message 5 times for each message that's sent out for each student, instead of just as a parent of students at that school. So you want to make sure that that is always deselected over here. And you want to make sure that your delivered to parents of students is always selected, which means that the parents of the students connected to the messages you might be sending are going to be receiving those messages. A few other options that are very neat with the system is that you can use a custom caller ID and a custom reply to email. If I wanted to use a custom caller ID, I would just select that button. Go ahead. It'll give me a drop down of the custom numbers that I've selected, and I would select a different custom caller ID. So essentially, if I did a robocall, the message or the call would look like it's coming from that number. As a default, the system sets up your caller ID as typically the number of your main school number, your main office number. So the messages would instead be coming from a main office instead of your custom caller ID if we had selected one. If you wanted a custom reply to email, you'd go ahead and select that. You'll see I am given another drop down if I wanted to select the message to come from someone other than myself or an account other than myself. So instead of coming from my account specifically, it would be coming from whatever custom reply I establish. This one, for example, would be coming from Deer Valley Unified School District and look like it's coming from info@dbusd instead of my email and my name. Once I have that all saved, I would go ahead and click save, and all of those specific options that I've created would then be applied to my message. I know that we just reviewed options about how to create, again, an advanced option, your custom reply to emails and custom reply to phone numbers. If you don't have those set up, we're going to go through that right now. So again, your custom caller ID and your custom email. To set those up, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So you'll go ahead and go to your settings option. You'll select your school. That should populate for it. It should be a hyperlink. You should be able to click on that. So again, to set up these custom caller IDs and these custom emails, you'll go into settings across the top here. You'll select your campus. And then you'll see basically an identification card of every piece of information that is loaded automatically into the system. At the very bottom, when you scroll down, you'll see delivery options. This is where you will go to set up your custom reply to emails and custom caller IDs. So delivery options, I clicked on that. It brought me to that page. In delivery options, you'll see a default caller ID. Again, this will probably be the phone number of your main line at the school, your main office number. But if you wanted to add a new number For a caller ID, you can go ahead and type that in there. And always click add, and then you'll see it populate there at the bottom. Once you do this, you'll be able to use that as a custom caller ID. Similar process there with your custom reply to email addresses. See custom reply to email. If I wanted a new name here, maybe I wanted it to come from a specific teacher or my principal or school specifically. So let's say I wanted it to come like it was coming from Anthem School. I would select Anthem School there as the name. And then maybe I wanted it as a no reply. If I wanted that, I would go ahead and select add as an option. And now when I go to create a message, I can send it as Anthem School no reply. One caveat to no reply is if you are using a no reply email, you want to make sure, best practice, that you have information listed in your message where the recipient can go to get information, as they won't be able to reply to those emails. So you want to be able to put in either an email of a staff member, a principal, whomever it might be, for more information, and also possibly a phone number where the recipient can call and get the information on the message or have any questions answered. Once you have your custom replies and your custom caller IDs added, you'll want to click that save button there at the bottom. So again, I went through, I added my caller ID and my email, my custom reply to emails, and I've saved them. So now if I go back to my message, you'll see that my messages appear. And now if I wanted to put those emails that we just created, again, we'll go to our advanced options. And you'll see now those numbers that we selected and those emails that we inputted. If I clicked save, that means that those calls and those emails would then come from those indicated numbers and indicated email accounts. When my message is ready to go and all of my advanced options are set, I will then click the send button. And that means that that message at that time will either get sent out immediately if you haven't set out a new time in your start time, or it will get sent out at the date and time that you scheduled the message. And that is the conclusion of this training session. Thank you for your time, and I hope it was helpful.